Yeah, it's same old shit, different day. And old Dog Wilson, or Doug Wilson, has been spewing doggerel. And you know, the more the media give him attention, I mean, nobody watches my videos anyway. Very few do, so I can kind of yak about him. But the more the media gives him attention, the more he likes it, because then he gets more money. He's got all kinds of endeavors, a publishing company, a bunch of churches, and all this kind of crap, and just oodles of money to squander. So this guy is not mainstream Christian. He's not anything. He's a crackpot. And yes, on one level, he should be ignored. The problem is, you can't really ignore him because of old Pete Hegseth. And that's what's dangerous. And basically, you know, he's not a co-founder of Reformed evangelical churches. That's a smokescreen. He's a Christian reconstructionist, is what he is. And like, I call him a Rush Dooney loony, because he's basically, that's what he is. Trying to set a theocracy on earth, because these people supposedly think that if the whole world becomes Christianized in a theocracy, Jesus will return. And that's all bullshit. It always was bullshit. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with traditional Christianity at all. But the problem is it's kind of equivalent to what the extreme Muslim countries with the Sharia law, that they just stone people to death. They kill them. Well, yeah, the Christian Reconstructionists do believe in the death penalty for all kinds of things. And yeah, Wilson says he was in favor of recriminalizing gay sex. Yeah, well, he's hiding it. He wants them dead. That's what he wants. That's what Rush Dooney wanted, is execution. So, one should pause before ever partnering with anybody on this far right wing. And yes, they've called him a neo-Confederate. I mean, all of that is true. But ultimately, he's a fascist. And Christian Reconstructionism is basically fascism with religious trappings on it. But anyway, old Hegseth, or not Hegseth, but Wilson, he advocated and he defended his view there was mutual affection between enslaved Africans and their American masters. Sure, the masters raped the women. Sure. Some mutual affection. Oh, Christ, how fucked up can you get? And this guy has been wrongly labeled a theologian. He has no seminary training at all. I don't call anybody a theologian if they're not actually, and he should not be called a theologian. They could call him a far-right, religious right figure, is what he really is. He's not a theologian. He doesn't even have a degree in it, in theology. What he has is degrees in classical studies and philosophy. But he's not a theologian. And yes, he has a master's degree and an undergrad degree from the University of Idaho. So this guy, in the end, is a grifter. Like they all are. Like all these people are. They just... And his big thing is... And the only reason, and I said this, the only reason that Wilson wants to see the 19th Amendment repealed, he knows it ain't going to happen. Because you have to have a constitutional amendment to undo a previous amendment. It doesn't just, oh, well, the Supreme Court can do it. Well, the Supreme Court can't do it. They're to interpret the Constitution. They can't do it. The only way they could ever conceivably do it is to have a constitutional convention. That ain't going to happen. There's not enough states that will do it. And where they could start from scratch. What they're pissed off about, what these poor little men are pissed off about, and it's all red pill shit. Let's face it, it's the red pill shit that is more driving this notoriety of Wilson and Webb and all these other nut jobs than it is the racism and the anti-Semitism, though those also figure in pretty well, but it's the sexism. And why they're so upset about it is because women vote Democratic. They have a lot more at stake because they're not privileged like these dickhammers. So they know. Where the dudes are so spoiled, they've had it their way so damn long that if they lose a itty bitty bit of their privilege, they just have a hissy fit. And they want to repeal the 19th Amendment. You can't do it. It's 3/4 of the votes in the Senate and in the House, and 3/4 of the state legislatures to ratify, and it ain't ever happening. Ever. Unless there's not a country anymore. It's not happening as long as we have a Constitution and a United States of America. Never happening. But old Doug did this interview with CNN, and he's been criticized, or he has been, but CNN's been criticized for even giving this guy a forum. But it's hard to ignore him when you've got a damn idiot in the Department of Defense that subscribes to that shit. And to a lesser degree, you have somebody that's the Speaker of the House, who's also into this bullshit, not to the extreme that Hegseth is. It's hard to ignore this guy, but he's lapping it up. Like all cult leaders, he's lapping it all up. And so, a reporter, did an interview with him last week, and he decided that he just backhanded women like always, and he said to the effect that women were the people that other people come out of. Oh God, it's like shit. Food is something that shit comes out of. It's reducing women to a function. It doesn't matter if he calls them people. They're defined by their function. An object to screw and an object to bear children and to do the shit work around the house that the men are too stinking lazy to do. That's what it was. That's what people got mad about. And you call them people who other people come out of. It's like food is the stuff that you shit. You take in, it's in one end and out the other. And some people, say women shit out babies. Well, sometimes there is, or a lot of times, I've never given birth, but what I've read is women do shit out as well as shit out a kid. But anyway, Wilson got criticized for that. And of course, the reporter just had the most baffled look on her face. Well, because she was being denigrated. And all women were being denigrated as just being a function. And, oh no, I don't, But of course, he does. Because women, that she had a career and all this. And of course it bothered him. Of course it did. Because women are just put on this earth to fucking have kids. And and B, wife appliances. But anyway, old Wilson got all criticized over it. And he should. He should be raked over the coals. So, yeah, it's, in a way, it's bad for CNN to give this guy a forum. But you've got Hegseth running around spewing the same bullshit. And that's what's scary about this cult figure. And I am not calling him a theologian. He's no more a theologian than Jim Jones. And in the end, it's all about the money. And the notoriety. But, yeah, we're kind of living in shitty times. And stuff like that. And one of the reasons I don't focus on a hell of a lot in the recent news is because it's so damn depressing. And, but it behooves us to pay attention to this stuff. And this Reconstructionist shit and red pill shit, it's kind of all the same thing, is a poison. And it's just a poison that is just choking the life out of the United States. And that's the problem. Is you have a lot of people who are very gullible that believe this crap. That actually believe it. They actually think. Well, first of all, they don't actually think. They're not thinking. But the thing is, we live in not only a secular country and a sectarian, or not a sectarian, a secular country, and we're under civil law. Not only that, but we have a lot of diversity. But if you're not what used to be called a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, male, you're not going to be allowed any kind of piece of the pie, because the men, that's racist and it's sexist. And the thing is, what they really want is anybody that disagrees with them is going to be executed. This is why the alphabet soup people are really, really hitting the alarm bells. Because, yeah, they want them dead. They don't just want the end of gay marriage. I just don't think there should be marriage at all. I mean, if they're going to have it, they might as well have it for gays and lesbians. But if they're not, but it's not going to stop there with getting rid of gay marriage. It's going to be criminalize it and kill them. Same thing. If you're a Muslim, you're going to get it. If you're a Mormon, you're going to get it. If you're Jehovah's Witness, you're going to get it. If you're any kind of, and if you're Jewish, oh my God, back to old Hitler again. They're out. It doesn't even make any sense that, first of all, that they would criminalize even being Jewish. Because if it wasn't for Judaism, there wouldn't be Christianity and Islam. There wouldn't be. And if there weren't Catholics, of course, they haven't really come out in favor of getting rid of them, criminalizing that. But that's probably for expediency. But if there weren't any but if there wasn't for Catholics, there wouldn't be Protestants. But, you know, there you are. But, you know, it's something. You can come up with any kind of bullshit. And especially in this Reconstructionist stuff is nothing but political. It's a political movement. It's not a religious movement at all, except as the religion is used as a as a lure to con people into believing in fascism, authoritarianism, which is totally alien to everything we stand for in this country. But yeah, old Rushdoony believed there should be slavery. So you know what old Wilson's promoting on his talking about how wonderful it was. How the hell does he know? Was he alive then? Of course not. He's parroting KKK shit and Aryan Nation shit. He's parroting that damn crap. And he is doing the same thing that Rushdoony peddled, was a return to slavery. He's trying to soften everybody up to it. Because after all, black people are inferior. After all, Latinos are inferior. Women are inferior. If you've got white skin and you have a dick between your legs, you're better. You're just better. Even though you're not. And oftentimes you're worse. You're inferior. But, oh my God. Anyway, I was just thinking about him and that damn statement he made about it. And oh, and another thing he said was that it didn't take any talent to, biologically speaking, and a lot of people, women especially, they took offense to that. But you know what? That talent bit, well, no, it doesn't take any talent to reproduce as long as you've got healthy reproductive organs. That goes for men as well as women. So he wasn't really wrong about that. I mean, it doesn't take any talent. It's not a creative endeavor. And it never ceases to piss me off when women say, oh, we create life. You don't create shit on that. Creativity, it doesn't require creativity. To create something requires creativity. And that's not a creative endeavor. It's a natural biological process that requires no creativity. And often using that term, women create life, is used to put women down. That they aren't smart enough to do anything other than reproduce. So women need to watch it. When they use that word create, as cavalierly as they do sometimes, it's not a creative endeavor. To create something, you have to be creative. A natural process is not creative. But anyway, yeah, some people would object to me saying that, but it's absolutely true. So in that respect, he was correct on that, about the talent thing. But what he was really doing was, he doesn't think women have ability to do anything. I mean, if you took just what he said about the talent at face value, yeah, that is true. But you look at his whole mindset, well, no, because women are stupid. You're just good for fucking and reproducing. And being beaten up. So, anyway, yeah. That's kind of all I have to say. I'm rambling on like I always do. And I gotta look at getting another place to live. I've talked about it before, because that family member that I'm living with went into the hospital again. And so that person's going to be out maybe for a while. So I've got to get my shit together. And it's going to be a nightmare. And Monday is the beginning of my return back to work. That was one hell of a fast summer. At least I got to go to northern Idaho at the beginning. And capped off my summer going to the waterfall corridor, which I did some short videos on last week. So anyway, I thought I'd talk about Douglas's Doggerel for this episode. And that's it.